I was the first Nigerian DJ in the UK in the 80s that started playing in Nigerian restaurants.
That whole Afrobeats thing, as a term, started in the UK. We were the first on UK television. I don't even think you understand the magnitude of the power that gave me.
Afrobeats lives here with Djwhobedat.
I want to understand your DJing background, right? Like going back to how you got started. Where was it in Lagos?
No, it started at university.
Okay, cool.
I went to Ondo State University. I was campus DJ. So all the gigs happening, I would normally play. Albeit table. I would go to studios in Lagos. I would always come with my own list. I could not DJ then. But I tell them, okay, I knew what I wanted. I want this, give me this. So I would record like 4 or 5 tapes at the beginning of a session. And those tapes were those were the tapes we were jamming at parties for the whole semester. When I go back, I go and read. So that I did all through my university days. Left uni 89, went to serve in Kano, continued the same thing.
So from south to north.
Yeah, but I started writing for The Guardian in 87.
Oh, nice.
As a freelance artist. We were closed in school. I had nothing to do. I just walked into The Guardian. I told them, look, what can I do? And they attached me to an entertainment desk. So I started building my connection to those in the industry. In 88, who was the Burna Boy of 1988 in Nigeria? Can you guess?
Charlie Boy?
No, not Charlie Boy.
88.
It was Majek Fashek
Oh, Majek Fashek.
and Sashino Peters.
Okay.
These were the Burna Boys of the... These were the guys at the time. So I started having connect with all those guys. Alex Zito, Alex O, Charlie Boy. Think of any big name then. My media work brought me in contact with them. So I started doing the whole nightclub thing. Pick nightclub, night shift. Coliseum. Then knowing all the major players, I knew all the managers, I had access. But I was not really DJing. In 1991, I came over to the UK, which was when I really started out DJing professionally. Because I had a skill, and there were not many DJs in the UK then. So I just started, got all my gear together, started doing it. And in life, at times, you just realize that a lot of this, at times, some of these things are luck. It just happens that in the early 90s, I was available in the UK, started doing gigs on vinyl with this, and the Nigerian community, we're go-getters, always thriving. In the UK, go to do all those mostly house parties, and everybody will move from venue to venue. There was no multiplicity of venues. This venue is raining, we all go. But then I started being, and then towards the late 90s, by the time I got to the late 90s, I kind of like become my own brand, and then I started doing shows. And then by the time we got into the millennium, like I said, 2003 was a special year for me.
Why is that?
Because that brought me onto TV. And that just changed my whole game. So now I'm not just a DJ with a name, now I have a face on UK television. And this was seen all across Europe and parts of Africa. So that positioned me perfectly. And of course, the only thing we were selling on TV was this genre. And also, personally, in terms of business, it's DJ Abass or nobody now. Even now we did TV now. Now we did AC now. Right. So we're doing all the gigs. I was going all across Europe doing shows and everything. But because this music genre we were pushing was the thing, because back then, the normal club, if you go into a club, even in Nigeria, it's R&B, hip-hop, dancehall, back to R&B. Maybe 1 or 2 African songs that are happening. Maybe 1 or 2.
Right.
But 1998, we started hearing of Remedies, Plantation Boys. So we'd play 1 or 2 songs. We didn't have sets for them, but we can drop it at one point. But by 2000, 2001, we could do like a 15-minute, 20-minute set. In fact, the African hits were more popular then than Afrobeats. Awilo, Kofi Olomide. Yes, the Congolese network, because they also have a community here, And then later, with Ivorian guys, Gao was the biggest. Gao is one of the longest running African hits ever.
Yeah,
he came in there. So we now realize, and a lot of the African girls will come to our shows then, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and they will always come and hound you that, when are we going to play Rumba? They'll hound you. So we were compelled to play those genres. But somewhere in that mix now, We now started having Style Plus, 2004, 2004,
right.
there, but So we started, and Olufemi was a massive hit. So I could be rolling my mix, but somewhere in between, drop an instrumental and then drop in Olufemi. Just the ones there, and everybody, and then I go back to, we didn't have a set for it. But by 2003, 2004, 2005, we started having sets. So you could come as an African to a venue, at some point during the night, 20 minutes, Afrobeats could happen.
So you have like a small segment.
That was not happening in Nigeria then.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. I can tell you that categorically. What was happening in Nigeria is maybe you have some joints that were for indigenous music, but it was not happening on the club scene.
I see.
It was not happening on the... My show in Nigeria was 2004. I went to do the Guinness show. And by then, and it was I and Djwhobedat. Okay. We did 3 cities, Abuja, Lagos, and Ibadan. One of the major highlights of my life, because it was the first time I came to Nigeria to actually do a show.
Nice.
And I remember when we did that show, Djwhobedat, fantastic human being.
Agreed.
He's just an awesome guy. I learned a lot watching him doing what he was doing on the scene. So at that time, there were some Nigerian songs doing the rounds in the venues, at the concerts at the time. And I just learned watching him, and I thought, okay, I can't compete with this guy with indigenous songs in Nigeria. But I remember when we did Ibadan, I played Obesere. We had Ibadan we were at Coco Dome.
Nice.
Coco Dome?
Yeah.
Had a pool and a stage, and we all that period was developmental stages, If anybody thought that we would get to where we are today, then. But what was good was that certain people stuck to it. Once again, shout out to Djwhobedat. There's nobody, I'm sure you've sat down with him already. And then when you speak, it's like a major reference point.
Yeah.
A major reference point because he helped a lot of artists, and it was true to the culture in terms of playing it. So it's not a coincidence, as everybody mentions, even I, And we became friends in 2004 on that trip, and we've been friends ever since, Fantastic guy. So we were in the UK, we were doing our thing with the term. Nigeria is the motherland. That is a place that birthed this genre. So we don't compete with that. What we just did was gave it that name that can make meat sellable.
That's an awesome explanation. Yeah.
And that name, I can tell you, all the major players in the industry then, I speak with any of them, they did not like that name. They said, why are you people copying?
Copying?
So, that wasn't that. You people are copying this Afrobeat term. Why are you copying from Fela? I don't hear any of them say anything today. I don't hear any one of them say anything today. But my own position was, look, I don't care whatever the name was, as long as there's an umbrella title that we can put this genre in. Because if we don't have the umbrella title, it cannot become a business. You cannot direct people. You must have somewhere to direct people to. And that's what that term did more than anything else, the term Afrobeats. It's a good time for African entertainment. Like I always say, there's, I remember when we kicked off entertainment in the UK, and events were few and far between, and perhaps mono in terms of we were just doing one thing.
Yes.
But right now, the terrain is so diverse, more and more African talents, are beginning to have something to latch onto through the events we do, through programs like this.
Yes.
So it's a good time to do what we do.
Of course. And I can see you're all geared up.
Nigerian is the new cool.
And it is the new cool. As you said, we're evolving.
In 2009, 2010, the band was already big. So was P Square. And then, come on, man, we had some real grooves, But we now had a gentleman, Abrantier, on Radio Choice FM then, and he just wanted really to have a collective term or name for everything. Do you get what I'm saying?
I see.
Because Ghana music was fully established as hip life. Okay? What's it called? Congo music was fully established as Undombolo. That's the Kofi Olomide, the Awilo, the Shipe Piana, Werason. We call that. So it's like it's coming from Congo. It is It's Ndombolo. South Africa had Kwaito, and they had some derivatives with it as well. Tanzania had Bongo. We were listening to all these things, but they all had different names. And he had a show on radio which was just for 2 hours playing contemporary African music. So he just felt, like this thing needed to have a term, or a name, an umbrella name. Yeah, that's an umbrella name. And, well, in my opinion, it wasn't particularly an intelligent name. Or it wasn't an intelligent, to me. And he called it Afrobeats. No, he called it Afrobeats, actually. So I personally took him on. That, look, that Afrobeat that you are calling on, do you understand me, is already existing as Fela's music. Do you understand me? Yeah. And this is where I would now say, unintelligently, as far as I'm concerned, he now added an S and called it Afrobeats. Do you understand me? Also justifying the fact that obviously there are different genres, all sort of like warped into one, and that was how it started. Actually, that was where the Afrobeat itself started, and I don't think in Nigeria, because in 2010-11 I started a job in Nigeria, TVC News, as the entertainment editor.
2007?
No, 2012.
12, okay.
2012. And all the while I was there, we didn't buy Afrobeat. I mean, to me, it was sounding strange. You get me? We didn't have a name either. But for ease of reference, I think sometimes you just say Niger Pop or, But when Wizkid them started now making international name, or sort of international, like making global impact, Wizkid, Davido, and all that, and it's in the UK, so they would definitely take anything they call them. So they call them Afrobeats, and then the ones back home too is like, wait, I want to be like Davido. You understand me? So they identify with Afrobeats. At any rate, I don't think there was any sort of like structure that was that formidable promoting even Nigerian music. So it was UK. So UK calls it Afrobeats, and it's Afrobeats.
There's even contention on who started it, who created the name. Contention is contention. Is it working? Yes. That's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. We should carry the trend. Just continue to
Absolutely. It's a monster now. We can't even do without it right now. The greatest currency in the world today is soft power. What does your nation have to offer? The beauty of Afrobeats as well right now is doesn't even exist in isolation. Other elements of the culture have now joined: fashion, food, film. It doesn't stand in isolation. The most popular fashion posts you see on IG or TikTok are supported with Afrobeats music.
Yes.
People are posting stuff about food supported by Afrobeats. Same thing with film. So there's also an interconnectivity between all the different elements of the culture. It's not even standing alone. I remember I had a conversation, I don't want to call it an argument, with a very popular UK DJ then, who was on Daddy Ernie on Choice FM. And I remember when Afrobeats broke out, he was like, oh, well, we've seen all these genres come and go. Garage came, it went. House came, it went. This one will also. I said, no. That's what I said, don't worry. Every year, December, I'll be reminding you. Say the difference between this genre and all those ones you're saying, this was not manufactured here. It's coming from the motherland. That's the difference. It's coming from the motherland. 20-something years down the road, we don't have that debate anymore. It's clear. It's clear to see.
That's right.
So I think that's one of the greatest exports we have right now. And it's an export that has developed organically without support from government. And I just wish right now that we have a system back home where the artists are recompensed for their earnings. That's another conversation to have right now. A lot of them, beyond making money from concerts, a lot of them are making their money also from DSPs and digital streaming platforms. Yeah. But we don't own any of those.
What, you mean like or
your Spotify's distribution channels? We don't own any of those. So that should be the next level. We need to set up like COSON, which is like the collecting society that's meant to like rake in all this money is still not really fully functional, you know. So in the UK or anywhere in the developed world, how do the artists make them? There's so many platforms, you know. Even just don't let me even use let me use South Africa. You know, Master G that did Jerusalem is a millionaire on one song.
Yeah, that's
one song.
That Jerusalem.
Just that one song. But he's not expecting money only from concerts. He's getting money from the collection societies.
How did you get it right?
You know, the system is everything is systemic. So you go to South Africa, just like you register here for PRS or you register in America for ASCAP, you can register in South Africa. So you can sit in your house. If your song is doing well, your check is coming in regularly. You don't have to go anywhere. The system is taking care of it. So radio stations are playing it, you're getting paid. Shops are playing it, you are getting paid. We don't have that in Nigeria.
Chilling with the backbone, I'm sure you're seeing a lot of familiar faces right next to me. JJC, Queen. Hello? Wahala. You know, exactly. You know, a lot of familiar faces. And this is JJC 419 squad now. But really, it's Backbone Music.
Yes.
Okay, nice one. Tell us about Backbone Music.
Well, Backbone Music is a production company that we started about a year ago.
Okay.
And we do JJC on 419. We do Queen.
Okay, your new member.
Our new member.
Okay.
All the way from Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
To Banch, all the way from Nigeria as well. And we do we work with Don Jazzy as well.
Okay.
All of us, the African people
Okay.
that are in the UK, we call ourselves the Afropians.
Afropians.
Yes, Afropians. That's a new thing right now.
Who is an Afropian?
Afropian is an African that grew up in Europe.
Okay.
That is adapted to both cultures.
I'll tell you another story. Swore. Marvelous Benji.
Oh, yeah.
Galala no they wound them again. Don't no they sweet them again, yo. So
How they dance to?
yeah, swore. So we went to do an interview at Galaxy, and I hope he's watching this. We went to do an interview at Galaxy station in Nigeria then. And because we were coming for the UK now, so the London Lily were setting us up. And we went in, and he was an upcoming artist then. And he would just come to the station every day. He wanted to get on the station to do an interview. But they were not giving him a definite date. They said, come, if there's time, we'll slide you in.
Yeah.
So we did an interview. He was in the green room. So as we were coming out, he just came and introduced himself and said, like, this is what I do. I just have this new song, this new song. And we said, okay, do you have it here? So he's going to go to Ajegunle. the mini DV.
Yeah.
And he went to Ajegunle, and then he met us at the airport and gave us the mini DV.
That's the only way he could give you the...
And we brought it back to the UK. That song became a hit in the UK before it became a hit in Nigeria. Because we had a platform. So we're playing it here. And there were so many artists like that. So we just go to Nigeria. We knew all the video directors. DJ T, shout out to DJ T. Uzodinma Okwechi. I don't know if you know him. He did the... Uzodinma was the one that did the Oroka video.
Okay.
So, yeah. No, Uzodinma was a Nollywood film director that also did music videos. So his videos had a different look and feel. So we'd go to Uzodinma to get videos. DJ T would give us videos. And then any of the videos, send the videos. How much? It's free. Give us just. We were looking for videos, and we'll get all the videos. Some would get off VHS tapes back then. We were the first to play Gao. Gao was released in 1999, but they had a video late. When the video came out, I bought it, the video VHS tape at a Gongoli shop in London, and then we cut that video and we started playing it. The very, very first video, because they did a couple after that, So the most important thing is we had a portal. And we use that portal to sell what we now call Afrobeats today. Okay. So that they had a London representation. And then the next thing that happened, that apart from people in our generation picking it, our children. Because this success, this thing that made it blow beyond, it's not just our, because we were only in the Nigeria, we were doing our thing in the African sector. But our children then, we now started imbibing it. And then their friends, their non-African friends, started taking it on. So in tracing that genealogy, step by step, one is to know the moments, what happened at what time, what changed something at what time, what happened, and in a nutshell, that is how that thing has progressed. But all of it on the back of that term, Afrobeats.
I don't know what song you're going to sing, but you're going to sing the song. And it's going to be a classic. So do She Don't Love Nobody.
Nobody but she don't.
Only me alone, depend me girl mine. Only me alone, make her love like shine. Only me alone, depend the girl mine. Only me alone, make her love like shine. You see, no pan a rush, but them dead it boss. Only me alone, I get the love up, love up. But they out a road, them a blush and a lust. But my little girl, she don't love the mix up.
Nice one, enough respect.
Blessed love.
Flyers, Chakademas, I feel greatly honored for you guys being on the show. I know you guys are doing great.
In this country, the origins of Afrobeat of this country.
Yeah.
In the beginning, the first people, the Yamisho Dimus, Love Me Jeje, Dizike Falola, Vera Fodu, Mother Brown, Ojubana, they all started singing in Pidgin and in Igbo and in Yoruba. They all started singing. But we didn't call it Afrobeat then. But we were playing their music a lot. Michael Creole especially, he was really big here. It was our boys here, our young boys here, that were either born here or were born and brought here when they were young, that called that beat Afro. They were the one that gave it the name. The originator of Afrobeat itself. No, I didn't put an S behind it because it's only S and pronunciation that we now use to clarify or differentiate between the two. Fela Anikulapo Kuti was the originator of Afrobeat, which a lot of people tried to copy, they couldn't copy. He branded himself with his music. It's unique. He's the only one in the whole of Africa that you cannot copy his music. But we started playing and our kids and the young ones started coming out with us. And before you knew it, we were playing the Osade Bass, we were playing the Oliver the Cokes, we were playing the Sunny Adays. And they started seeing this, and then we were playing the fellas. And they started seeing these things. And so when this new generation started playing their music, they started dancing to that. The one they could identify. They tried to identify to the Tony Tetrailers and the Two Faces that identify with Osadebe and Victor Wifo. You understand? So that's when they started calling theirs Afrobeat. Their conception of it, the idea was not to take or usurp that brand from Fela, but they were more Afro than Nigerian. You know what I mean? They grew up with other African kids and other black Caribbean children who identified and saw themselves as Africans. Do you understand? Yeah. So that's how it started. So the first set of people really were the Remedies, people like Danfo Drivers, Sonny Neji, Plantation Boys. Two-Face was there with them then. X-Appeal, there's a guy here called Lexi Do. He was one of the first set of Lexi Do. He was in a group called X-Appeal. They had a song then on Mowasho. He was with Jazzman Olofi. But then they separated. But these were the people that started this Afrobeat thing. And the first group that people really fell in love with was Style Plus. Olufumi, that track was. Ladies loved it to me. Yeah. They came here for the mobile. They were nominated for Mobile Award. They came here and we did a show. They did a after party at the Hippodrome as well, which was very well attended. Then Coldplay Ondaro came in with Eledami Modiamu. Yeah, and then that's how the Afrobeat started evolving here. Before you knew it, when we first started playing it, they would be like, "Uncle, why are you playing? Why are you playing this?" And then before you knew it, they're like, "Uncle, let me have the Afrobeat. Can you play some Afrobeat for us?" Before we knew it, we started towards the end of the all this time we were still playing our hip hop and R&B and bashment in the club. But towards the end, we will give them maybe last 30 minutes, last 40 minutes of Afrobeat. And then when these artists started coming here, either for award or for nominations and stuff like that, and then with the advent of telly as well, they started seeing their videos, they fell in love with them. And Two-Face just came and killed it with African Queen. He totally killed it with African Queen. African Queen became so popular, the barrier was taken down. So that is really the origin of Afrobeats here. And before you know it, look at it now. What we used to play it then, and people used to feel like, should I throw a bottle at this guy? But now, if you don't play it, you're in trouble. I'm telling you, right now, we play Afrobeats from beginning until the last 45 minutes or so, and then we play old school or bashment. We play something different.
So is your audience here, your crowd, is it normal?
My audience and crowd everywhere.
Okay.
In every restaurant that the Nigerian DJ or bar or club that Nigerian DJ play, literally everywhere it's Afrobeat. And you will be surprised. You got a lot of Chinese DJs playing Afrobeat. Yeah. You got a lot of white DJs playing Afrobeat. Yeah. A lot of Jamaican DJs playing Afrobeat. Zambian. I mean, this guy is just a male and female DJs. Afrobeat is now played on the prime radio stations. Yeah. Look, I'll tell you a story. Wizkid came for a show in the UK, and it's a live show with Wiz Khalifa from the States. And Wiz Khalifa went to stage first, and it got a massive response. You know, the young girls they attend the shows a lot. And when Wizkid came out, he smashed it. He totally killed it. And the next morning, when I was driving to work and I was listening to Capital FM, I'll mention their name, the presenters were saying they were at the show as well. I didn't realize that they were describing the reaction of the ladies when Wizkid came out. They didn't know him then. They said, "Oh, this guy called Wizkid is something else, you know. You listeners should go check him out." That's how good. It was in those days. So I'm not surprised at all to see Madison Square Garden being sold out, or to see O2 and other big venues being sold. I'm not surprised at all.
It was a trajectory.
I'm not surprised at all because, look, some guys got together and they said that they did the program about DJs who actually champion Afrobeat in this country. I felt a bit, I wouldn't say aggrieved, a bit surprised that while they were saying that, they weren't giving credit to whom credit is due. I mean, you cannot talk about Afrobeats and the development of Afrobeats in this country, DJ-wise, and not mention the likes of Casey, Omo White, Dele Adeleko, myself, DJ Abass, Jimmy, Djwhobedat. You can't. There are others, but that is just to mention about the few. Give me the ball of that guy. God, he was passionate. Look, he took this thing into his veins. He was extremely passionate about it.
In my opinion, and to an extent informed opinion, Fela's Afrobeat has no relationship to Afrobeats.
But really and truly, what we have currently as Afrobeat is a fusion of several genres.
Afrobeat is not just about music, it's the culture. A lot of the other sounds were being influenced by Afrobeats, whether they believe it or not.